Hey everyone, welcome to the Light Stand. It has been a minute, and I do apologize for that. It has been pretty wild in the Ontiveros household, but we are back and we are excited to finally kick this off once again. So thank you guys for your patience, man.
Love you all.
We love you. We do. And I have my beautiful wifey today here for this episode that was highly requested. If you guys remember, for those of you that follow us on Instagram, _light stand, we put out a poll for a couple of topics, and by far, how to handle toxic family was the most requested. We also asked you guys if you were comfortable to submit some examples, or just some things that you're going through personally, that you wanted us to kind of touch on. And we will mention no names. It will just be general examples. And it is more common than anything, man, handling having toxic family members. I think this generation in 2025, we are more and more aware of mental health and breaking generational curses, et cetera, right?
Boundaries.
Boundaries, like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what boundaries was until a few years back.
Same.
Like, whoa.
Same. I don't know if it's just like the Hispanic culture or Mexican culture,
No.
but I think it is a lot of Hispanic culture, some Asian culture, some African American culture too. There's just a lot of. Let me put it this way: there's a saying that says, "Hurt people hurt people,"
Yeah.
and if you don't heal, you're only passing on that trauma subconsciously and unwillingly sometimes to the next generation.
Yeah, I feel like toxicity has no, like, it picks anyone. Like, anyone can be toxic.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, white, black, doesn't
Whatever.
matter.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It has no color.
There you go.
It's ugly, and it's unfortunate. I do want to say thank you to those of you guys that were transparent and vulnerable enough to send us a couple of examples and things that you have been going through. Man, I apologize. I'm sorry to hear that you've gone through that and that you're experiencing that or have experienced that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our best to. This one took a minute to put together, guys. We're not gonna lie. This episode specifically, because it's like a how-to. It really took us a minute to put together. So we hope to cover all bases. It's not gonna be 100%. Give us grace. If there was anything that you felt we could have expanded on more, send us a message. So here we go, guys. How to handle toxic family members without losing your sanity. All right, so just so that we're all on the same page, as far as what is a toxic person, because right now, again, it's social media, it's the word toxic is everywhere, and I think it's very overly used and very badly used in some situations. So what's a toxic person? Here we go. A toxic person is someone whose behavior consistently causes harm, negativity, and conflict in the lives of those around them. They often exhibit manipulative, controlling, or abusive behaviors, lacking empathy, and potentially masking their negativity with charm. These behaviors can stem from underlying issues like low self-esteem, mental health conditions, or deep-seated emotional wounds. So here's an article that I pulled up from charliehealth.com. If you guys want the sources, we'll be more than happy. Just shoot us a DM. This one says, quote, a toxic person, defined as someone whose behavior consistently harms or undermines others, can create an unhealthy and stressful environment, making interactions emotionally exhausting. Maintaining healthy relationships is crucial for our overall well being. However, not all relationships are beneficial, some can be harmful. Recognizing and addressing toxic behavior is essential for people to protect both their mental and emotional health.
Yep.
And we're gonna go through a couple of how to's. How to so number one would be setting boundaries. Number two would be limiting interactions, staying calm and detached, focusing on solutions, seeking support, practicing self-care, knowing when to walk away. We're gonna get into all of it. Okay. So first things first. Let me set the stage by saying, if you are identifying, as we're going through the material, guys, if you're identifying people in your family, we're not, like, the purpose of this episode is not to tirar, trancazos or
Right.
to bash anyone.
Nope.
This is not, to slander people and to make people feel like crap. Oh, disclaimer. If you have children listening with you, you might want to... This is not the episode for them. So, disclaimer. Okay.
Adult only content.
Adult only content for this one, just because it could be very triggering.
Yeah.
And words might come up. So, I'm going to give you time. 3, 2, 1. This is your last chance, guys. Okay. So, this is not to bash people, okay? This is to give you guys the tools and the content and the knowledge to try to equip you in the best way possible, to give you guys language and to give you guys help on handling family. Family is super hard, guys. Handling family is super hard, especially when the toxic person is your mom, your dad, brother, sister, aunt, grandpa, grandma,
Siblings. Yeah.
siblings. It's very hard, but especially when it's family with an authority.
And just to piggyback on what you just said, I think it's hard when you all grew up in, like, you guys trauma bonded because you all experienced some sort of trauma, and that's when it's very hard. And I can say that for, with personal experience. So yeah, and I'll give more details later, but it is hard.
It is hard. Now, us giving you this content and us trying to help you and equip you for your guys' specific situation, it's not going to make it easier. Okay, let me tell you, setting boundaries with your family is going to be one of the hardest things you're ever going to do. But it's also one of the most necessary things that you are going to do for your well-being, for your spouse's well-being, and if you have children, for your children's well-being.
And it can be not just family; it can be anyone, a coworker,
Boss. Yeah, this applies. This applies to a lot. We're gonna try to keep it, or we're going to keep it to family only. If you guys want more, because a lot of this can apply to pretty much anybody, right? But family is the hardest one, so that's how we're going to proceed here. All right. So, how do you spot the toxicity? Because a lot of you, or a lot of us, grew up in a toxic environment. So, because we were babies and we grew up in that toxicity, in that negative environment, in that manipulation, emotional manipulation, all those types of toxic. Maybe there was actual physical violence, verbal abuse, demeaning, like all kinds of bad stuff. You grew up and it was normal.
Yeah.
You know.
loud conversations, disrespectful conversations, um, belittling someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if you grow up with it, you think it's normal. Like even at a subconscious level, when you get it, you become an adult, you think that it's a normal dynamic, and it's not. Right.
Right.
So how do you spot the toxicity? Okay. So first, we need to talk about what toxic really means, because it's not just someone who annoys you or doesn't agree with you. A toxic family member is someone who um, disrespects your boundaries, manipulates you emotionally, consistently brings chaos or drama into your life, undermines your confidence or decisions. It makes you feel, or sorry, they make you feel drained, anxious, guilty on a regular basis. And if it does sound familiar, guys, you're not alone. Families can be our greatest source of love, but they can also be our deepest sources of pain.
Yeah.
So let me give you guys an example. We know of a situation where this person, uh, this dude gets married, and the mm, the mother attends the wedding, and pretend like puts on the face of like, I'm so happy for my grown adult man. And the mother starts sending text messages, like blowing up this man's phone. When are you gonna see me? I need you to come over. Because remember, the Bible says when a man when a man gets married, he's gonna leave his father and mother and become one flesh with his wife, right?
So this is the son and the mom.
This is a son mom dynamic. Okay, this is a grown man, late 20s. Professional, like this dude has his career, like bueno y bonito, like pro in his career and everything. Mom starts saying, I need you to come over this day because we are gonna do some projects around the house, and I need your help. You need to be here. The dude says, I can't that day. I already have plans. I can on this other day and this other day. And the mom tells him, I don't know what you need to do, but I need you this day. So whatever you have going on, cancel it, because this is the only day and I need you here.
Yeah.
Mind you, this mother has other siblings that can help with these projects.
Has other kids.
Has other kids. But she is on purpose telling this grown man that this is what she wants. So this dude ends up canceling his plans, and para que la mamá no se enoje, so that he doesn't upset the mom, he does that, which obviously created conflict with his wife, because the plans were with the wife, and here is one scenario where the mom is so I asked this dude, I was like, what would have happened if you just said, no, sorry, I can't, and period, dot. You kept your plans and you gave her the hard no. And the dude literally started hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a grown man. So what does this mean? This means that this dude grew up as a child having to put his mom's needs over his. He had to ignore his own emotional feelings and needs to tailor or to cater to his mom. Porque this is called grooming, guys. Where your mom or your dad groom you of like, the only important person here emotionally is me. You need to cater to my needs. You need to understand what my needs are, and I expect you to drop what you're doing to meet my needs, or else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's manipulation. How do I know it's manipulation? Because I'm working with this dude and I'm helping him set those boundaries, right? Of, I'm sorry, the no is a no. You know, you have other people, you have friends that you can call and help you with the project. It doesn't have to be me specifically, right? But the mom didn't like that. Anyways,
Yeah.
I knew that she started being manipulative because, for example, Mother's Day was just a couple months ago or last month, and she would send this guy text messages of screenshots of like messages that he had sent her before, like, "Hey mom, I love you," or she would send him pictures of gifts that he got her before.
Mm-hmm.
I see, like, "Oh, like, I love you so much, son, and I can't wait to see you again," and like, just, I'm like, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
For a mom to be kind of blowing up her son's phone with these kind of, it's almost, I wish I could describe it to you guys, like, it was almost like it as you're reading through these text threads, it almost felt like she was an ex-girlfriend.
Oh well.
Like, I miss you, like, in that sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird. Like, it wasn't a mom-son dynamic. It was, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So I started telling them, hey, this is what's happening. And I got some books, because I never want people to think that I'm just giving my opinion out of nowhere, out of thin air.
Yeah.
I have resources and I have tools and I have,
Mm-hmm.
homework where I've been learning about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, this is where I got it from.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm learning. I'm not just pulling it out of thin air, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, holy moly, she is an emotional manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, how do you feel? He told me, 100%, I honestly don't even feel like going to their home, to her house, to visit her, because I feel like she's gonna just turn into this like poor me party,
Mm-hmm.
and try to make me feel bad that I haven't seen her as often as she wants me to see her.
Right.
What should I do? And I told him, I asked him, like, well, how do you feel about this option? How do you feel about this option? How do you feel about this option? I gave him different options.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, honestly, I think this option, option A, is the best one. Option A was having flowers delivered to her by a catering service, and with a card,
Mm-hmm.
and him just calling and saying, Happy Mother's Day. I'm really sorry that I couldn't go.
And I'm sorry, this was for
A guy,
the flowers were
for the mom, for Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
I'm really sorry that I'm really sorry that I couldn't go. I had a big commitment that I just could not break.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll see you when I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you when I can.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes through. And later that night, he texts me a screenshot of what his father texted him.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a phone call. It was a text.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, so-and-so, I can't believe that you didn't have the atención to come and give your mother a hug and a kiss and spend time with her on Mother's Day. This is your one and only mother that you're going to have for the rest of your life. How could you, after everything she's done for you? I hope and I pray that you don't have to live through what you put her through. And I was just, as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Now she is having someone enable this behavior.
Yeah.
Now she has her dude in on the manipulation,
Yeah.
you know? Because through this text, and then her too, like she texts him like, oh my, like, you know, I can't believe you couldn't just 5 minutes come and give them to me. Like, you know, you had to send a delivery service. What's going on with you? You're changing, blah, blah, blah. Never did they ask him why. They never got curious. Why?
Yeah.
Which is narcissistic. A narcissist is all about them, regardless of anyone else's feelings. It's all about them.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, with all due respect, they're emotionally manipulating you. Because how come they didn't ask you why? You know, hey, why? Like, we felt you distant. You know, like, I'm a dad, right? If my sons got that distant from me and like they didn't even want to come around, my first question would be, hey, is everything okay?
Right.
What's going on? You know, what did I do or what did mom do that you guys don't even want to come around anymore? You know, help us understand. Did we, you know, did we do, what did we do?
Right.
You know?
Did I do something? Did I, yeah.
Yeah,
say
like, did I
something?
offend you? Did I whatever?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
And if I did mess up, dude, I apologize.
Right.
You know, nothing of that. They just blame, blame, blame. I can't believe you. How could you? You're the worst after everything I've done for you. That is emotional manipulation. And if you guys are going through that, how do you set a boundary? So you set a boundary by going back to the first point, spotting the toxicity. You have to realize what they're trying to do. And in your mind, you have to kind of divide the person from what they're doing. Like at this point, okay, if you have someone that is in your family, mom, dad, grandpa, whatever, grandma, whatever, tia, you have to in your mind stop looking at them like mom, like dad, like tia, like grandpa, and start seeing them as a person who is simply trying to get you to do what they want. Have that capacity. It's going to be super hard at first, but it takes practice, and yes, you can do it.
Just to add to what you're saying, expect pushback. Like the examples you gave right now, you know, the mom reached out to her husband, and he's the one that texted him, the son, and I feel like that's pushback. Like they're not used to you putting boundaries, because what he did by sending the flowers to avoid any not uncomfortable, but like any conversations with the mom where it was going to be there was going to be disrespect, or maybe he wasn't ready, and that's why he chose that option of having the flowers delivered. There's going to be, once you start putting boundaries, you're going to start seeing that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Like, because there's going to be pushback, because these people don't know what boundaries is, because no one has held them accountable. No one has hold them accountable. So expect that. Like, go into this with that mindset of it's gonna get bad
Before it gets better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
They're absolutely not gonna like it. They're gonna throw a fit, and it's gonna be weird, because we're talking, especially if it's your parents, because remember, their entire life they got used to you dropping your life, dropping your needs, dropping your plans, dropping your everything to cater to them.
Right.
And this is not a healthy person, okay? If you have healthy parents, that have healed and have done the work and everything, this does not apply.
Right.
We're speaking about toxic, emotionally manipulative, and controlling parents that try to twist the narrative to make you guilt trip. Just the fact, look, you have to take a step back and just read the context, read what they're saying, like really think about what they're saying. If they're trying to guilt trip you, that's an automatic red
It's a
flag.
red flag, yeah.
Like, why are you trying to make me feel guilty, bro? You know?
Right.
If I can't, I can't.
And I think what you mentioned earlier, I think the first flag for me would have been the I need help with this task on this day, and I need you to come this day. And when he responded back of like, I'm available such and such day, and she didn't take that as an answer.
Right.
So right away, that's a automatic red flag too.
Right.
Like that should have been the first one. But sometimes, I can speak from personal experience, like that you don't even think of that because of how so many years of you been being conditioned, of you just living in that environment, that sometimes it doesn't come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's quote unquote normal, but obviously it's not. But once you start educating yourself, reading books, listening to podcasts, you'll start learning, hey, my parents, my coworker, my friends do this. Maybe I need to be curious. Like one of our friends says, be curious. And like ask yourself, wait, this made me feel uncomfortable. Like, is this right? So, yeah.
Definitely. Let me give you guys an example, okay? A personal example. 2 years ago, Thanksgiving, we're having dinner here at my house. We invited my sister, my mom, some friends. So it was like a Friendsgiving, / Thanksgiving. The boy, my sons brought a friend. There was like several people.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew was here with his girlfriend.
Several people.
Several people. We were playing. So my mom and my sister are in the living room. My sister has two little kiddos, my niece and my nephew. And my mom's kind of like helping her like change a diaper. I don't know what it was exactly, but Nat, myself, and the boys or whatever, we're all in the kitchen table just playing some card game or some table game.
Yeah, game.
It's just a game, and we're all having fun. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear Yoni, like my mom yells, Yoni, because my sister and my mom call me Uni. Yoni, and like dead silence.
Yeah.
And I just look over, and she's like, "Te estoy hablando, no te me." Disclaimer, children, turn off the speaker right now. She yelled it, "No te me apendejes."
Mm-hmm.
Te estoy diciendo que vengas a tomarnos una foto. And I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Because she spoke like that to me in front of my kids, in front of my wife, in front of my friends.
Yeah.
And everyone's like dead silent, nervous laughter. And my mom looks over at the rest of the people at the table. And at this point, I'm getting up and I'm walking over. And she's like, pues sí, es que a veces se apendeja. Y pues tiene que agarrar la onda. ¿Verdad que sí? Jeje. Like she kind of laughed it off.
Yeah.
And then, there's nervous laughter from the friends. So I take the picture, whatever that she wanted. She sits down on the couch, and then everybody kind of just starts playing the game again, and kind of things go back to quote unquote normal. Mm-hmm. Here's what I do, guys. At this point, and this is what I'm telling you, it's so hard. My heart was pounding out of my chest. My mom's sitting on the couch. I kneel down. I get close to my mom, heart's pounding, and I say, "Mom," in a very calm voice, in a very calm demeanor.
Yeah.
I looked at my mom and I was like, "Mom, you will never, ever speak like that to me again. Especially in front of my kids, my wife, and my friends. That was not okay." I felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
And she just kind of looked at me in shock. And she was like, "Okay. Okay, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Thank you." I got up. I went back to the table. And the night continued. 10 minutes later, my mom's like, "No, pues ya me voy." Starts getting her things. And I'm like, "You haven't even been here that long. Like, just stay." She's like, "No, no, no. Like, that's it. I'm done."
Yeah.
We're like, "Okay, pues have a nice day." Guys, almost 3 months passed. It was almost 3 months. It was 2 months and a couple of weeks, but almost 3 months entirely that she did not message me or call me.
Right.
And I was not going to reach out because little Art would have. Little Art would have said, "Oh, well, it's my responsibility to reach out and make amends over something that she did because I would rather break the silence versus keep this treatment happening or whatever, this silent treatment happening." But remember, silent treating, when you call someone out, a toxic person, if you call them out and they give you the silent treatment in the back end without a conversation, without an apology, etc., that is also a red flag, which I learned.
Yeah.
So I said, I am not going to reach out. Right? She was the one that messed up. She's the one that needs to apologize. Not that I was expecting it, but I was just like, I'm not going to reach out.
Right.
Guys, almost 3 months, man. And we finally had the conversation, and it was a very hard conversation. And I said, "Mom, like, oh, my sister, by the way, like during Christmas or around Christmas, this happened in Thanksgiving. So around Christmas, New Year's time, she was like, dude, Mom's tripping. And, she, no, pues Uni ya me, disclaimer, remove the kiddos, turn off the speaker. Uni ya me mandó a la chingada. Sorry, guys. Ya, ya me voy a Norte Carolina, and blah, blah. And then my sister, I call her Nena. I was like, and Nena goes, no, 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 no. None of that happened. None of that's true. All he did was tell you to not to talk to him with respect.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why are you blowing it up to that level?
Right.
And again, dramatizing the situation to try to cover for your flaw is a form of manipulation.
Right.
Because you're manipulating the narrative.
Yeah.
So all these things, guys.
And I love your mom.
Yeah, same. I love my mom.
I mean, she calls me Santa. I need to clarify because I don't know if it's like Santa Claus or
No.
but no, like well behaved. That's what she calls me, Santa.
There you go, like a saint.
Yeah. We don't believe them in saints, but that's another story. But yeah, I mean, we love her with all due respect. That was Art's personal experience where, like you mentioned it earlier, I said expect pushback. There's going to be pushback. Her pushback was the silent treatment. And the pushback can be guilt, anger, not talking to you, manipulating the narrative. So, guys, once you start putting boundaries, stay strong. These things are going to happen and it's okay. It's normal. And that just says, it means that the boundaries are working. So stay strong.
Stay strong, guys. Remember, sorry. Remember, Cutting off toxic family, if the situation calls for it, is not easy, man. It's one of the hardest things you're gonna do. Why is it so hard? Because you love them, you know. But there's also a lot of I don't want to call it brainwashing, like grooming that happened when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have that inside. Like there's still that little you that is afraid of stating your needs
Mm-hmm.
and having your voice heard. You know, a lot of you guys were raised that your feelings are not valid and your opinion doesn't matter. Lo
Mm-hmm.
que yo digo y
Mm-hmm.
punto, porque soy tu madre y porque
Mm-hmm.
soy tu padre or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you learned it when you were little to just shut up. It's like, all right, whatever you say then.
And good thing you say that right now. It brought back memory of myself where I think that's why growing up my vocabulary wasn't, till this day it's getting better, but where I struggle to come up with a word because we had no voice. Like, I mean, from what I can remember, this is my what I can remember. I'm the oldest of five, so each sibling's experience is different. But this is my experience where parents would be arguing. I don't recall any parent asking, "How are you?" Or like, I know my mom for sure didn't because not that she was a bad mom, but because she was so busy and like focused on trying to save her marriage and take care of her kids, where she didn't know how to ask her kids, "How are you? Are you guys doing okay?" So I had no voice. So that's why it's so hard for me to express certain feelings or have that vocabulary because I felt like I had no voice.
Hmm.
I mean, but yeah, back to what you said earlier about the limiting or cutting contact if needed, depending on everyone's individual situation. I mean, I can talk about my personal experience as well, where, a family member, I have a few family members who doesn't, right? Who like to drink. And it got to the point where this person couldn't control their drinking and it would get very weird during parties, gatherings.
Violent
Not not violent, but
after the
like
fact.
no, I think it was more um I, I don't think it was violent because there was no like hitting or fights. I think it was more like verbally fights.
Yeah, but then the 2, 3 o'clock in the morning calls of,
No, that's another example.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but no, this person where they like to drink, so every time they would call me at a certain time, past a certain time, I would see the call come in my phone, and I would get anxious. It almost felt like PTSD because I would get anxious. I didn't want to answer the phone. I would get a ugly feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to this person. Seeing this person's name on the caller ID, like you said, it was just, it was pretty bad during those years. And I decided to not answer the calls because when I would, right away, you can tell this person was drinking. And the conversation would just go south really quick. And I would end up feeling guilty, mad, angry, all the emotions. And it got to the point where it was affecting me mentally. And I said, that's it. I don't have the mental capacity to keep answering this person's phone calls when they're drinking because I love them. They're such an awesome person when they're not drinking. I love this person to death. But I can't deal with them when they're drinking. So in this example, I had to cut them off Or I would not answer their calls. If it was past 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I couldn't answer their call. If it was important, they can leave me a voicemail. I would listen to the voicemail, and if I knew, I'm not going to return your call that day. I'll call you the next morning. So it was hard. Very hard because, it's like you're thinking all these thoughts go through your head and you're like, are they okay? Did an accident happen? Like, but I had to because it was affecting me. So, I'm being vulnerable. I'm saying these things because I know out there's someone going through the same thing. And for your mental health, you have to cut or put these boundaries on some people.
Whether they like it or not.
Right.
Because their reaction to your boundary, ladies and gentlemen, is not your responsibility.
Right. Like, I read this I think it was, or I heard it from a pod from the X Messenger, where it was Lisa and John Bevere. And I think they said, you cannot be responsible for others people's feelings. You can offer to help, but not be like their like offer to help in the sense of asking them, how can I help you? Not giving them options like, oh, I can do A, B, and C. No, it's like asking them directly, like, how can I be of help? So that you're not enabling them. But yeah, it was hard. But you have to.
You have to, guys. When I'm going to assume that everyone listening, you've been on a plane. And every single flight, before the plane takes off, there is the airplane lady, or what do you call them?
The flight attendant.
The flight attendants. Mega brain fart. The flight attendant explaining to you how to put on your mask if a situation happens where the plane has no oxygen and you have to put masks on. Whose mask do they tell you to put on first? Your kids? Your spouse? No. They tell you to put your mask on. You have to be okay before you can help anyone else. Because if you have no oxygen, now you pass out and now you can't help your spouse and your kids.
Right.
So same situation here. Why is a boundary important? Because you have to be okay. If you are not okay, you're just going to bleed that onto your spouse and onto your children.
Yep.
Over something that is not their fault and which isn't fair for your marriage and for your family. So that's why boundaries are so important, guys. And yes, your voice matters. Yes, your emotions matter. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, the people that you're setting boundaries with are not going to like it. And it's not your responsibility. Mm-hmm. That is their problem to deal with. But they don't get to control your boundary by their berrinche.
Right.
By their tantrum.
Right.
What do you mean you can't come over when I want you to come over? What do you mean, you're not going to be at the family function where, Tío Juan is drunk off his butt, making everybody uncomfortable and touching you and, caressing your shoulders the way he does when he's drunk. But he's your tío. You know how he gets. He's just like that. Just put up with it,
That fires me up.
Because that's normal. That's just the way he is.
I love your voice.
Oh, dude, no. I'm not going. Is he going to be there at the party? Well, yeah, of course. Then I'm not going.
Right.
Period. And I don't care who doesn't like it, right?
And it got to that point too where we stopped going to family gatherings.
Oh yeah.
Because there was alcohol involved, and we have nothing against a cup of
wine, a beer,
right? Like a glass of wine. Sorry, not a cup of wine. A glass of wine.
A big old cup. A slurp. 7-Eleven slurp.
No. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're drinking to mask or to completely change your mind, then that's when it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's
when you're chasing to get drunk.
Right. because you're masking something.
Right.
Anyway, we stopped going to these gatherings because there was alcohol involved.
Right.
So yeah, guys, we had to
Ask, like, is there going to be alcohol at the event? Yes.
Right.
Then we're not going.
Right.
And it's not because of the alcohol. It's because of the specific people that were going to be there that cannot control their alcohol consumption. And the way they got made all of us feel uncomfortable. So because we can't control them, we would rather just not be there.
Right. Right now that I was saying, before I got interrupted by our dog Peach, but just kidding, we love her. It was very hard for me. A lot of things are hard for me, but not impossible. I'm just very emotional. So with these family gatherings, family of 5 with a bunch of nieces and nephews, kid you not, there was your typical Mexican family. We had parties every weekend, every single weekend. We would get together for every holiday. So when we started putting those boundaries and we stopped going to family gatherings, oh my goodness, I cried. I would cry every night because I'm super close to my family. And when I said enough is enough, and I wanted to make sure that my kids didn't grow up thinking that that was okay, and then for them to do the same thing with their future family, I said no. Like you said earlier, things were bleeding onto you guys, onto yourself, onto our kids, and I put a stop. So yeah.
And I can tell you that the boys and I are ever grateful for that. And because especially me, as your husband, knowing how hard that was for you.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were able to finally put your foot down and have the courage to do that was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. There's some other examples that we have for you, but we want to get to the how-to. All right. We are 49 minutes in, and I feel like we haven't gotten to the how-to, and I'm sorry. Okay, so step 1, set clear boundaries. We're talking a lot about boundaries. So you have to decide what is a boundary. Very simple. Decide what is and what is not okay for you. For example, do you need to stop accepting calls after a certain time? Do you refuse to engage in screaming matches or guilt trips? You have to be clear and consistent. So remember, the boundary, when you set a boundary, you're not trying to control that person. You're not telling that person, if you do this, then I'm going to do this. No, because you can't, that now you're trying to manipulate them and what their behavior is. The boundary is, look, for example, so this is just an example. Look, Mom, I love you. And I want to spend time with you. However, if you are going to be drinking when we hang out, I don't like the way you get when you drink. Therefore, I am just going to leave.
Yes. Yeah, and I did have that conversation.
Thank you for understanding, Mom.
Right.
She's not going to like it. Ay, por favor, que payasa. All of a sudden, you're so santita, and so all of a sudden you can't, deal with a little jab here and there, and you can't deal, like, all that is manipulation, guys.
And they're also going to say, like, oh, muy santita, like, now, just because you're Christian.
Yeah, or going to church or whatever.
Yeah, like, you're perfect now. It's like, no.
No one said that.
That's just a boundary.
Right. It's, hey, look, if you want to drink, you go ahead and drink.
Right.
But I'm not going to be part of it.
Right.
Así de simple. I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to tell you not to drink. Hey, look, Mom, when I see you drink, it makes me feel X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am choosing to no longer be a part of that. So I will show up to a party. I will show up to Christmas. I will show up to Thanksgiving. But the moment you start drinking, I'm out.
Yeah.
You can continue drinking without me. That's okay.
Right.
You don't have to stop your life for me. I'm just letting you know how I feel.
Right.
That's a boundary,
Yeah.
right?
And just to add back, like about what boundaries are, heard or read this somewhere that boundaries are invisible property lines of our life.
Mm.
So, like I also saw an example of a couple, and they each had a hula hoop around them. So the boundary is like what is inside their hula hoop. Whatever is on the other partner's hula hoop, that's theirs. Like you can only control what's inside of
Your
that.
hula hoop.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, not the best example visually,
No,
but
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
So set clear boundaries, guys. If you have, if a situation rises up, with a family member that they did something horrific to you, to your child, and you do not want to see that person during your healing process, it is so valid for you to say, I would love to go to aunt or, to my niece, Titi's, graduation or party or whatever. Question, is so and so going to be there? Yes, they are going to be there. Okay, fantastic. Let me know how the party goes, please. I do not want to be there. Oh, well, what are you saying? That I have to stop inviting this person because of what happened to you? No, you can invite them. I'm not telling you what to do.
Right.
That's what a boundary is, guys. I'm just letting you know what I am going to do or not do. Mm-hmm. Right? That's it. That's what a boundary is. And it has to be crystal clear, respectful. Like I'm respecting you. I'm respecting me. Right?
Yeah.
So step number 1, set clear boundaries. Step number 2, communicate those boundaries. You have to be firm. You have to be calm and without apology. Try something like what I told you with my mom. So I typed this out, so forgive me. I'm not okay with being spoken to like that. If it happens again, I'm ending the conversation. Mm-hmm. And then follow through. The key, guys, is the follow through. Because setting boundaries with toxic people that could be narcissistic, that could be manipulative, that could be controlling. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like taking away their drug. It's kind of like taking away the beer from the alcoholic. They're not going to like it. Like, wait a minute. This phrase used to work on him or her all the time. Mm-hmm. And it used to get them to turn around and come back in and do what I said. But now it's not working. Yeah. The follow through has to be key. They have to know that you're for real. Yep. And again, you're not disrespecting, you're not being whatever. It's just, hey, I'm not okay with you talking to me like that. If it happens again, I'm ending the conversation, plain and simple. Yep. Okay. Step number 3, expect pushback. We already talked about that, but toxic people do not love boundaries, guys. They're going to test them. Guarantee you, subconsciously, they're going to test them. They're going to give you, they're going to try to throw guilt trips at you. They're going to throw anger at you. They're going to get explosive with you. Because remember, controlling people, that I know a couple that I pray for them. This dude controls his wife with anger. He controls his family with anger. If things don't go the way he wants, boom, he turns on the anger switch so that people fall in line like little soldiers and do exactly what he wants. And if you don't do what I want, I'm going to get angry and I'm going to throw a fit and I'm going to yell and I'm going to explode to get them to submit to my will. Yeah. That's horrific. That's another conversation. Anger, silent treatments, It might get worse before it gets better. No, it's going to get worse before it gets better, I'm telling you. But it's okay. Stay grounded. If you're a Christian, if you believe in God, obviously pray on it. Pray for strength. Pray for peace.
And I think that happened to us like last year, no? It was like, holy moly. It got really bad,
Yeah.
where it was like no parties with family.
Yeah.
I think it was really, well, for myself, I feel like it was, God, like, dang, I'm one of your strongest soldiers,
Yeah.
because it was one after another thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think last year, I mean, I'm not trying to talk about myself. It's just, again, I have a lot of personal testimony because I've gone through a lot.
Mm.
People that are close to me can attest to that, and I love y'all.
Yeah, yes, we
And I
can.
love my husband too.
Oh,
But
he loves you too.
yeah, it's gonna, you'll make it, guys. You'll be like me next year, and you're gonna look back and be like, dang, I'm so proud of myself, of the person that I have become,
Yeah.
because I was able to recognize those red flags and recognize those people that were being toxic, and I put my foot down and I started, like what Art's talking about, these steps. So yeah.
Yeah. Here's a cool thing, guys. When the toxic people in your life that you're as we're talking about this stuff that they keep popping up in your head, this is for you. If they do with the guilt, if they hit you with the guilt trips, they hit you with anger, they hit you with the silent treatments and all that stuff. Oh, I can't believe after all we've done for you, blah, blah, blah. It's a sign that your boundaries are working. Okay? Sign, and then just pray for them that they actually change, that they actually get help, because no one wants to be around that forever. Step number 4, limit or cut contact if needed. So let me recap real quick. Step number 1, set clear boundaries. Step number 2, communicate the boundaries. Step number 3, expect some pushback. Step number 4, limit or cut contact if needed, if the situation is hard enough to where it's required. Sometimes, guys, the healthiest move is distance. Yes, this includes low contact and even zero contact. You get to decide what level of relationship is safe and sustainable for you. You decide it, guys. You are the one that is setting the boundary. You decide what level is safe and sustainable. They don't get to decide for you. If someone in your family hurt you, they don't get to tell you, pues ya, no. No, pues ya, like, yeah, get over it. Yeah, it happened.
Yep.
Yeah, forget about it. Like, they do not get to say how long it takes you to heal. They don't get to set that boundary for you guys. It is you 100%. Matter of fact, if they're the ones telling you that, that is a bigger red flag that tells you that is not a relationship that you want in your life. Step number 5, finally, do the inner work. Toxic family dynamics can mess with your self-worth,
Yep.
especially if you grew up in it, guys. Remember, if just the thought of setting a boundary with your mom, with your dad, with someone, a family member, if just the thought of it makes you anxious, makes you get sweaty, makes you get nervous, like, oh my gosh, that would be so hard for me. There's a little you inside of you. Little you is not healed. Little you is still thinking, oh, but it's because I can't because they're my parents. Or I can't because it's an authority figure. It's my grandpa. Like, grandpa and grandpa raised me. How am I going to ever do that to them?
Yeah.
Pobrecitos. It's like, no, dude. It's necessary.
Yeah.
So, what's inner work? Go to therapy. Obviously, church and pray and, find a confidant, a support group even,
Yeah.
of trauma survival. I don't know, whatever.
Like the group, CR.
CR, Celebrating Recovery.
Yeah.
Journaling. I personally love journaling. I have my little book where I feel like I'm talking to God. And I can journal and I'm like, hey God.
Yeah.
I start every entry by hey God, and then I just pour my heart out on paper. And it's so helpful.
Yeah.
I
also wanted to add to the doing the work, like you said, the going to church. I think that was very crucial for myself. I mean, everybody's inner work is different. But we have a walk-in closet, and I would just, when I was having like just those dark moments, tough moments, I would just go to my closet, sit there, and just cry. Listening to worship music, I think that's where it hits me the most. Now, worship is the best. Like, I feel like I connect to the Holy Spirit with music. Anyway,
which is biblical.
Right. And I would listen to praise and worship music in the closet, crying my eyes out, and the Holy Spirit would just touch me. And I would bawl even more. It's not running down my face, my nose. But I wanted to share this quote, Bible verse, Matthew 11:28, really quick. It says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So what is Jesus? And it's in red lettering. This is Jesus. Like, you go to him. That's what he wants. He wants you to go with him when things are hard. And sorry guys, I get emotional because dang, like, if my relationship with God, with Jesus, wasn't strong, and I know maybe some of you guys listening, if your guys' relationship with your Savior, with Jesus Christ, isn't tight, get tight with him, guys, because he pulled me out of some dark moments. I mean, wow, this verse like really pulled out these emotions because, man, like, you know, if your family is being toxic, or anyone that you're close with, and it's hard for you guys right now, like, know that your Heavenly Father is perfect, and he created you in his image, and he's there. He hears you crying at night. He knows your thoughts. So go to him, guys. The fight is gonna be hard, but don't give up, because your future family will thank you for this. Future generations, guys. If we want things to get better at schools in the United States and the world, it has to start with us. So, yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Mama.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Ooh, my Jesus talk.
Yeah. Hey, one of my favorite songs is "For God So Loved the World" by We the Kingdom. Come all you weary, come all you thirsty, come to the well that never runs dry. Jesus is waiting with open arms.
You know which one too, now that we're talking about music? Praise and worship. Brandon Lake, his first songs, Don't Give Up on Me.
Don't give up.
Don't Give Up on Me. Whew.
Yeah.
That one, I feel like, you know, it's him singing to God, like, don't give up on me. But when I first heard it, I felt like he was saying, like, God was telling him, don't give up on me. Like, no matter what you're going through, keep going to me.
Yeah.
That's how we took it. But
Yeah.
sorry, guys, this went somewhere else. But
No, it's okay.
it's not sorry for Jesus.
No,
I mean,
never.
He made this podcast.
100%. I do want to address, Mama, one of the last comments that one of our listeners asked us to comment on.
Yes.
So this person said they have aggressive parents that just don't change and never accept that they're wrong. They constantly complain and are angry and are in competition with you and treating their spouse bad in front of you. When I asked for clarification, they said, in my case, my dad treats my mom bad in front of you, like in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here is what I would say to that, dear listener. Remember what I said at the beginning of the episode. Hurt people hurt people. This is a Hispanic culture background because this person's Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
And almost always they are also hurt children.
Mm-hmm.
There's little children inside of them that were also hurt.
Yeah.
But they never healed, clearly. If they are in competition with you, that is very unhealthy. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. It is absolutely not healthy, and it is not your responsibility to make them stop.
Yeah.
You cannot take that upon yourself because that is not your burden to carry.
Mm-hmm.
It is not you can't say, it's my job to make my mom and dad stop being in competition with me. No, because that is a never ending battle.
Yeah.
Because if they refuse to change, you can't force them to change.
And I think also to add,
No?
I think, I mean, there's more to the question. Like, we can dig deeper on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it can start where, like, putting boundaries. You know, if you, as hard as it is because you love your parents, they probably need to see that change where you're putting those boundaries and you tell them, like, you know what, if this type of behavior is going to keep happening during family gatherings, for example, I'm not going to be around that. Like you said earlier, I'm not going to participate in that environment.
Yeah.
And once they start seeing that change in you, they're going to be like, oh, sorry, the language, oh crap, like, what are we doing? Like, we love our daughter and let's make a change. So maybe it needs to start where putting boundaries if you haven't already.
Yeah. Realize that there's hurt little people inside of them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not your job to fix them. That's their work.
Yeah, and it doesn't make it okay for them to be.
It does not make it okay. Absolutely not. It does not justify them.
Right.
They have to do their own work.
Yeah.
And if it's affecting you in that manner, dear listener, here is how I would go about it. Y'all could hear Peach going at it with the birds. There's a crow that teases my Peach. Okay. So if I was in your shoes, listener, and this is how I would go about it, okay? If they constantly complain, they're constantly angry, they're constantly in competition with me,
Mm-hmm.
and they're mistreating each other in front of me, as a grown adult, I would say, dear mom, dear dad, I love you guys to death. And I am absolutely heartbroken and tired of seeing you guys treat each other this way. Going forward, if I see this behavior again, I'm leaving. Because it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys start again, I'm leaving. I'm not going to sit here and play lawyer. I'm not going to sit here and play peacemaker, which is probably the dynamic that used to happen.
Yeah.
Where little you tried to, no, mom and dad, like make up, kiss and make up, come on. Which removed responsibility from mom and dad. Mm-hmm. That's not your responsibility. So that's how I would handle it. I would say, it breaks my heart to see you guys like this. I am no longer going to accept it. So when you're ready to hang out, I would love to hang out. You're my parents. I love you guys. Mm-hmm. I would love to hang out.
Right.
And I love me and my spouse more though. Mm-hmm. Now I'm a grown adult. Yeah. So guess what? I'm not coming over anymore. If you want to see me, we're going to see each other at a restaurant where you can't flip. You can't go crazy on each other.
Right.
And that's the only place that we're going to see each other. Because it's the only place that I feel safe.
Did the listener, I'm sorry, say that the father was disrespectful to the mom? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would call him out on what he's doing respectfully.
Right.
And in a safe place. Maybe have someone else there with you that you can trust if the, situation gets out of control. Be in a public place and be like, with all due respect, you're not going to speak to my mom like that. Because maybe it hasn't, no one has called him out. And yeah.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would also say, hey mom, when are you going to put a stop to that trading? Why are you still allowing it? Get some help.
Yeah.
I can no longer stand and see this.
Like you said, that behavior bleeds to the kids.
It does.
It does, and it does more harm than good, obviously.
Yeah. Now, if they're always complaining and are angry and stuff, hey, look, again, I love you guys. But every time I come over, all you do is complain and you're always angry. Please call me when you're not.
Yeah.
Please call me when we can have a great conversation. And it'll be at a coffee shop. It'll be at a Village Inn. It'll be, somewhere where you're not going to be flipping tables and, going crazy. Because unfortunately, this is a public place is the only place I feel safe with you. Mm-hmm. If they're in competition with you, that one really is like it's really bugging me. Why are they in competition? I'm curious. Like, why are they in competition? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, though. You cannot have a healthy conversation with an unhealthy person. And if you get curious, because you're telling me that they're already angry, they might just flip it on you and get angry that you're even asking. Mm. So I would turn that over to God and just set that boundary of, look, why they're in competition with you, that's super toxic. That's super unhealthy. You're their child. Mm-hmm. I would never be in a competition with my kids. I would want my kids to succeed 10 times, 100 times harder and better than I ever did. Mm-hmm. I would be more proud than ever, And if they're not, man, I'm really sorry, number one. And number two, it's not your job to fix it, give it to God for now. And pray that they end up doing the work so that you can have that conversation eventually. But right now, I would give it to God.
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yeah. And if you want us to dissect it even more or clarification, reach out. Yeah. Anyone, please reach out to us.
Reach out, send us a DM. This specific listener, you have our number, so just hit us up.
Yeah.
And we can have a coffee or something.
Chat. Yes.
Okay. So, recapping. Mm-hmm. 5 steps. Okay. Step number 1, spot the toxicity. Step number 1, set clear boundaries. Number 2, communicate the boundaries. Number 3, you're going to get pushback, and it's okay. It means that the boundaries are working. Number 4, limit or cut contact if needed. If that's the only way you'll feel safe, that is okay. And that is, if they don't like it, that's not your issue. And then do the inner work. Oh, Great point. What if you can't go no contact? They live in the same house as you. A lot of people, cutting contact isn't an option due to culture, finances, shared responsibilities. So in that case, here's a few tips. Stick to neutral topics. Limit time spent together. Have an exit plan for difficult gatherings. Here's a new one that I heard. Use a gray rock method. That means being emotionally unreactive and don't feed their drama. Remember, guys, these people, these toxic people love the drama. They love the show. They love the circus. Be a gray rock, meaning do not react emotionally. You have to have a poker face of like whatever, because they're used to controlling you and manipulating and taking control of the things through emotion and anger. We already talked about that. Don't fall for it. Lastly, find emotional support somewhere. Friends, a chosen family, someone that you choose, and then a therapist. Okay, you can't change them, but you can change how much access they have to you and your emotional energy. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Here's a message we want to leave you with. You're number one. The way they are is not your fault. The way they are is not your responsibility.
Yeah.
You are not a bad person for protecting your peace.
Oof.
You are not greedy. You are not selfish. You are not self-centered. It is your peace and your peace alone.
Yep.
You're an adult. If you're married and have children, or even if you don't have children, that rubs off on the people that you live with.
Yeah.
So take control of it. You're not bad for protecting your peace. Do not feel guilty, Hispanic culture people. Do not feel guilty. Don't let them play the guilt trip on you. And if they do, that's just another flag that proves that you're right and in setting the boundary.
And it's important that I'm glad that you said that, because again, that's how I felt. Where you put those boundaries and you stop talking to this family member because you're protecting your peace, you're protecting your mental health, and then you start feeling the enemy knows where to get you, and it starts telling you you're a bad daughter, you're a bad son, family member. Like, you're supposed to be there for your family member because they're your mom or they're your dad. It's like, just because I'm putting boundaries and protecting my peace doesn't mean that I don't love them.
Right.
You love them, but from afar.
Yeah. De muy lejitos. I can still love you.
Right.
And choose not to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that is on you. That's not on me. If you were healthy enough for me to want to be around you, we would be having a whole different conversation.
Yep.
But because you're not healthy and because you act certain ways and you do certain things, I'm just choosing to not put up with it no more.
Yep.
And that's on you. That's not on me. But guess what? I don't have to put up with it because I am an adult. You know? Remember, guys, blood is thicker than water. No. Throw that out the window. Just because they're family doesn't mean they're entitled to access. You're allowed to choose peace over obligation, healing over history, and boundaries over burnout. Family isn't just who you're born to. Family is who respects you. Family is who shows up for you. Family is who loves you well enough.
Yep.
Okay? Now, couple of I highly recommend, if you guys are on Instagram, follow this page called Fami Mind or Fami Mind.
Yeah, it's like family, like FAMI mind
underscore
altogether.
Yeah. Quote, in quotation marks, estranged kids run from conflict. No, we ran from constant harm, not a single disagreement. We tried to talk. Yeah, but we just got talked over, dismissed, punished, or emotionally blackmailed. We were raised to obey, not to express. The moment we spoke up, it was seen as disrespect, not healing. Remember, guys, Hispanics, if you speak up, if they automatically see it as disrespect, that is not okay. When we said this, when we said, "Hey, this hurt me," all they heard was, "You're a bad person." So the conversation never left it didn't even leave the starting line. They felt attacked by our pain instead of realizing they were being asked to grow. Back to our listener about the parents disrespecting each other and being in competition with you.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel attacked by your pain, that is their issue, not yours. They need to realize that you're asking them to grow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We were told to stop being dramatic, too sensitive, and ungrateful. That's not communication. That's emotional erasure. We didn't run away from conflict. We walked away from conversations that only ended with our guilt. They say we were the ones to cut them off. But the truth is, we cut off the cycle, the silence, and the gaslighting.
Yep.
Some families don't know what respect looks like without control. So, when we set boundaries, they saw it as rebellion. That is not your responsibility, guys.
Yep.
Finally, we didn't walk away because we didn't care. We walked away because we finally did for us. Again, we didn't walk away. We didn't walk away because we didn't care. We walked away because we finally did for us. That's why we walked away, because we finally cared. Make sense?
Yep.
Super good, man. There's so much more to share with you guys, but man, this was supposed to be a quick how-to.
Hey, I mean, there's no such thing as quick how-to, especially with this topic.
Yeah, this is a tough topic, man.
It's, yeah.
So don't be afraid to set boundaries, guys. Remember, it is how they feel is not your responsibility. Choose peace over obligation. Just because they're your family does not obligate you to be there whenever they snap their fingers. You have a life, you have a family, and you have emotions, and you have a voice, and you have responsibilities. It's okay to say what you need to say.
Yep.
Lovingly,
Yep.
but say what you need to say. And if they are not okay with it, again, that is their issue, not yours.
Yep. Oof. That sounded really good, babe.
I don't know. I love you, Mama. Thank you for opening your heart. That was amazing, man.
Thank you.
And we love y'all. Shoot us a DM
Reach
with your
out,
thoughts.
guys.
Leave a comment in the
Please
in the episode, in the show notes, whatever.
share, subscribe, do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. If you know somebody that could use this, shoot it out to them.
Yes.
Share it with them.
Yes. Guys, we want to be not to brag or anything, but we want to be the light stand in every household. Like, times are dark and we got to be the light. So share. Thank you, guys.
Love y'all. Have a great night. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.